Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So you guys can see the screen? Screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is sometimes it hangs also. Okay, it's okay. So we stopped. Okay. Why isn't it coming up? Just a minute. Just hold on. Actually, I have opened a book. That is why it's hanging. It sometimes hangs with a book. Okay, I think it's okay. 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 Actually, it's because I have kept a book open. I wanted to show you something. So let me first show you that, and then go ahead with the work. This thing. The book is a little too big, I think, for it to handle. Just wait. Okay, so before I go into that, let's just look at this book. people are all there. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to skip that section. This is not. I wanted to show you an offset table and a drawing actually. I cannot do that. So you are all there. Sorry. Can you hear me again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. If you are there, that's fine. Let us start. This thing is not working. I'm not going to go further on that. Let us go ahead with the class. Okay. So if you are there, we'll start. I was actually trying to show you offset. There is something. Let's continue from last class. So as it is, we are now dealing with hydrostatics. The stability part will come later. Actually, we will go into a little bit of stability also, hopefully today, if everything, all these things work fine. So what I was telling you yesterday was, just to make sure you are there. Okay, you are there. Okay. So what we were discussing yesterday was something known as the lines plan. I sincerely would like to show you a figure of a lines plan, but there is right now no way. In the next class, I'll put up a picture of lines plan. Okay, I'll make a JPEG and I'll show it to you in the next class. This today I didn't think it would be this difficult to work on this. So what we have, we define something known as the lines plan. Okay, so we have what is known as a lines plan, in which, as I told you, we have three figures. We talk about a half breadth plan, then here we talk about a shear plan, it's called, and here we put something known as a body plan. So remember these three things are the different parts of the lines plan drawing. Just 1 minute. Okay, it's recording. So fine. Okay, so shear plan, half breadth plan, and the body plan. Now, actually I have the picture here. This is what we have is a figure something like this. It's a little difficult to draw that, so I'm not going to draw that. I'll just explain to you the body plan. Now, it so happens that one of the most difficult to draw of these three is the body plan. Okay, so as I told you, it comes like this. You have a drawing here, which is the as I told you, which we call it as the shear plan. Now here we draw the body plan. Now the thing is, as I told you yesterday, there is a perfect symmetry between the right and the left sides of the ship. So when you have a ship, the right side of the ship is exactly the same as the left side of the ship. In all constructions, it is followed. So what we do is, when we are doing the body plan, remember body plan is the one that comes to the right here. When we are doing the body plan, we do only half a ship. Okay, we do only half a ship, which means that if this is the center line, so if this is the ship and this is the center line, we draw from there. We are looking. Okay, this is what the body plan is. You are seeing a cross section. This is known as a cross section. So when you look from there, you will see a complete drawing. Usually, if you look, you will see a complete drawing. But what we do usually, we don't draw the whole thing. We draw only one half of it, only this much. So what we do here is that, as you know, this is station 0, station 1, 2, 3, 4 up to station 10. So station 5 is somewhere in the middle of the ship. That is known as the midship. As I told you, it is the midship. So what we do is, this 5 to 10 stations, okay, we draw here as on the half, and the stations 0 to 5 we draw here on this half. So what, as I told you, I'll explain this again in the next class by bringing the drawing, which that if I open that book it will hang again, so I am not doing that. You will have a drawing here which will contain it will look something like this. Let's see. So if this is the center line, so here you will have like this. So what I am saying is this is the whole body plan, okay? This whole thing is the whole body plan. It's very uncomfortable actually. Okay, let me see. So what we do is, if this is the shear plan, this is the front half of the ship, okay? The front half of the ship, and this is the aft part of a ship, the rear part of the ship, and this is the front part of the ship. So this front part of the ship will contain the stations 5 to 10. 5 to 10. You know that. I already explained the stations from 5 to 10 will come like this. Stations will come from 5 to 10, and here you will have stations going from 0 to 5. So here you have stations going from 0 to 5, and here you have stations going from 5 to 10. So the cross section of this, half cross section of this, is drawn on the right hand side. So this will represent something like this: 5, 6, 7, and similarly 8, 9, 10. Like this, it will be like this. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 will be on the right hand side, and the left hand side will be like this. You will have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 up to 2, like this, 3, and like this 4. So what you have here, so this is actually representing the rear half of the ship, and this side is representing the front half of the ship. So these are the stations on the front half of the ship. As you know, the stations on the front half of a ship are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and these are the stations in the rear half of the ship. So the rear half comes here and the front half comes here. The advantage, see, how is it exactly? It is, if you look exactly, this 0th station, if you draw the whole thing, a 0th station would look like this. Let's say, okay, the 0th station would look like this in the front, but we draw only half of it. We do not draw this half. This half we do not draw. We draw only one half of it, and the other side, in fact, we put it with the drawings on the rear half of the ship. If it's not clear, I will show you the picture. It should become clear. It's actually a very simple thing. So front half, so this much of the ship comes on the front half of one side of the body plan, and the rear half of the ship comes on the left side of the body plan. So the body plan looks like this. This is how the drawing is done in body plan. This is the only thing really you need to know. You will see that when you are doing the drawing next semester also. But this is an important point. This is how you do the drawing. This is the body plan. The body plan is drawn like this. Now, so what do you have? You have the half breadth plan, in which you will be having the half breadth plan, in which you will be having the water lines. So these water lines will be curved lines. I explained about that yesterday. The water lines will have curved lines, and the water lines itself will look like straight lines in the shear plan and in the body plan. Then you have the stations. Stations will look like straight lines like this in the top view, okay, in the which is known as a half grid plan, and also it will look like straight lines in the front view, which is what we call as the shear plan, and it will look like curved lines. These lines, these are the station 5. As you can imagine what it is, it's just this cross section. You know, if you cut it like this, one station is cutting it like this. Let's say station 10, the frontmost station. If the station if you cut it like this, this station, this plane will not be a straight line. If you look like this, that the outer edge will look like a curve, isn't it? The ship is coming like this, so it will look like a curve. So that is what we are drawing at different distances from the ship. So again, so this side represents the front half and this side represents the rear half. So this is the lines plan drawing, and there is something known as an offset table. Offset table. This is this offset table is actually the table which you use to make the lines plan. It is a table we use to make the lines plan. What the table looks like, I was trying to get that also in that book. It's there, which also is not possible right now. That also I'll show you in the next class. So two things to show you. So this will be complete in the next lecture only. So I'll move on to the next section. This is basically lines plan. It's usually, sometimes I used to make you, what you have to do, you know, you have to take a graph sheet. You'll get, you know, green and orange and all graph sheets. So you take those graph sheets. You will have to draw in. I usually make them draw in the class itself 3 drawings in which you draw the shear plan, the half breadth plan, and the body plan. So once you do, there is one more thing which comes up importantly here. Now, when a ship is like this, okay, let's assume this is the cross section of a ship. This is the again, always remember there are a couple of terminologies used. So if there are a couple of areas that you can have. I'll do that here. There are a couple of areas that you might have. You can have what is known as a cross-sectional area. A cross-sectional area is, if you have the ship, you slice it like this and you look like that. This area is what we call as cross-sectional area. Then we can have what is known as a water plane area. When you look from the top and you see an area, right? This area, you see an area like this. At whichever waterline you are talking about, you will have a particular area depending upon the shape of the ship. So that area is known as a water plane area. This area is known as a water plane area. And then we call it as midship area. Midship area is basically the cross-sectional area midship. The cross-sectional area at the midship is what we call as the midship area. And similarly, this cross-sectional area is also called as sectional area. Sectional area. The only difference is we draw the sectional areas only up to the height of the draft. Please remember what is draft. The part of the ship that remains underwater, the length, the depth. Depth is the total height of the ship, total length of the ship, not length of the ship, the total depth of the ship. Whereas draft is the part of the ship that is under the water. The part of the ship which is under the water, that dimension is what we call as a draft. So it is called as draft or draught, as I told you. So the sectional area is up to that draft. Up to the water line, whatever you have the area, that is what we call a sectional area. Okay, so these are some things which I need to explain again, which we'll do. Then generally, as I told you, there is a word called fairing. I think I mentioned that yesterday. It is something when you get the whole drawing, what we call as compatible with each other. Like if you're doing an AutoCAD drawing, it becomes slightly easier because you know that precision comes in AutoCAD drawing directly from the computer. But when you're drawing, you really have to be careful. So when you do that, you will get the drawings which are where each drawing is exactly compatible with the other thing. One corresponds exactly with the body plan, the shear plan, and the half crest plan. They really they exactly complement each other. Okay. Now what we have, that process is called as fairing, and then there are certain things. This is actually what I'm looking at is actually the offset table, which I'll show you in the next class. We'll come to that. Now after that, we usually do certain things. One of which is we define certain numbers. We define certain numbers which are called as, first of all, they are known as the coefficients of form. These are the coefficients of form. These numbers, these coefficients of form numbers, the first one and basically the one that is used mainly is something known as a block coefficient. A block coefficient. A block coefficient really tells you how full a ship is. What it means is that if you take the this is just the underwater portion of the ship. I didn't mention that, but still I'll come to that later. The underwater portion of the ship, if you take the underwater portion of the ship, it will, let's say it looks like this. Let's say something like this, like this. Now, if you assume that there is a cube like this, a cube, okay, not an area. This looks like an area. It actually is like this. It's not a two-dimensional thing. It's a three-dimensional thing. So the ratio of the exact area of the ship to the volume of a cuboid, which completely covers this shape, is known as the block coefficient. The ratio of that is a block coefficient. So as you can expect, block coefficient will always be less than 1. And block coefficient, what does it mean? It represents the fullness. When if this thing, the ship, this is the ship's hull, right? So if it is more full, like this, if it is more and more fuller, then the block coefficient becomes 1. So when you have a ship like this, it will have a high block coefficient. So basically a rectangular barge, for instance, that is a word. Okay, you probably haven't used it so far. Suppose you have something known as a rectangular barge. That is usually the word. This you remember, it's a kind of ship. Okay, so when we say that we have a rectangular barge, it is basically having a block coefficient of 1. It means that basically it's like this. This is its shape. So its block coefficient is 1, and it is defined like this. CB is equal to L divided by LBT. Now I'll mention there are some things which I haven't, probably all the nominations I haven't explained. First one, CB, is the block coefficient. Now this T, as I told you, I have given you 2 books for reference. One is the Lester and the other one is Adrian Biran. Okay, so 2 books I have given you. Of these, you will see that this book always uses for draft, they use the terminology D. According to them, draft is D. According to Biran, draft is T. According to Biran, the draft is T. So when you're reading the 2 books, make sure what you are reading, okay, make sure you get the terminologies right. This is true in many of the terms. One puts as capital D, one puts as small d, but the real fact is that the Biran book is basically the one that is really followed nowadays. It's a more recent book and it's the one followed nowadays. So let us you can use it as T, but when you are doing problems, I'll take a problems from Leicester, we'll use small d. But you know what it is. It is the draft basically. Okay. So this what do we have here? LBT. L is the length of the ship. B is the breadth of the ship, the maximum breadth of the ship, and T is the draft. So you can imagine what volume it is. It is the volume of the cuboid under the water, which is a rectangular. Now, and what is del then? So this is a volume. Okay, this is the volume of that cuboid. Now this actually is a principal particular. I forgot to mention that at that time. Del, the word is that the way in which you say is it's a del. Okay, DEL, and it is known as displacement volume. Now, this is another term that is used. This is delta. Okay, this is known as displacement weight. Now, I am not sure, but I am going to start very soon in this called Archimedes principle, in which will anybody del is the displacement volume. It is basically the underwater volume of the ship. Underwater. It is not the total volume of the ship. It is the underwater volume of the ship. Of the ship or barge, whatever is the material, whatever is the craft, you will have the underwater volume. The volume underwater, total volume underwater is what we call as del, which is the displacement volume. And many times we just say displacement. When we say displacement, it means the volume, del. Okay, volume of. Now there is a relationship, and delta is the total weight of the ship. Delta is the displacement weight or the displacement mass, and it is the total weight of the ship. Now there is a relationship between the underwater volume of the ship and the displacement weight, displacement of the ship, which I would ask you. You might be familiar, at least for those who still remember the Archimedes principle. There is a very simple relationship between the two of them. Okay. The relationship is this: delta, the underwater mass, let's assume it as mass, let's not bring weight into it, weight being the mass into the acceleration due to gravity. Remove that acceleration due to gravity, we don't want that here. So delta is the underwater, even, okay, we'll call it under displacement mass. This is actually del into rho of water. This is basically the Archimedes principle, which we have to go into in the latter half of this lecture. But this is the relationship between the two of them. Del, the weight of the ship, the total weight of the ship is equal to the underwater volume into density of water, not the density of the material. Okay. Okay. So what we had was the block coefficient. Then similar to the block coefficient, we talk about something known as the midship section coefficient. Midship section coefficient. Just hold on for a minute. I just small thing. Okay. Sorry. So midship section coefficient, we have something known as a midship section coefficient, and it is defined as, midship section coefficient is defined as Cm is equal to Am divided by B into T. This is also something which you can imagine. Suppose you take a midship section. So basically what is we are talking about is a midship section. You will have the midship section like this, Okay, you have the midship section, and in that midship section, the underwater part is this. Let us assume this area is AM. AM. This area. This area is AM. Then we can have a rectangle. This we can have a rectangle here whose breadth is B and whose height is T, the draft of the ship, and this is B. So if this is the maximum area that can come there, so the ratio of these two, AM to B into T, is something which we call as midship section coefficient, CM. Then we have something known as the prismatic coefficient. We have something known as the prismatic coefficient. Prismatic coefficient is defined as, now you know what these terms are. You can very easily get it by reading. So what do we have here? You have the underwater volume, and you have AM, that is the underwater sectional area, the underwater area at the midship section, into L. L is the total length. If you assume that the entire underwater volume is of midship section's area, that is known as that is the ratio of the actual case to this hypothetical case is what we call as prismatic coefficient. Now, if you just do some mathematics, you will see that it comes like this. What we saw previously, that Cp, the prismatic coefficient, is equal to block coefficient divided by the midship section coefficient. You can have it like this. So you can see that Cp, yeah, that is fine. Cp is equal to Cb by Cm. Then, okay, there is a couple of more things which is like now there is something known as a water plane coefficient, water plane area coefficient. Sorry, water plane area coefficient. Water plane area coefficient. It is written as CWL. This is written as AW divided by L into B. Just by putting, just by guessing, you can guess what it is. AW is the water plane area. I already told you what is the water plane area. You look from the top, and this area, this horizontal area that you have of a water plane, you know that this section is known as a water plane. Okay, always this horizontal section is known as water plane. The different lines that come up are called water lines. And the section that comes up along with those lines on the ship, okay, they are known as water plane areas. And usually when we say water plane area, it usually means the water plane area at the air-sea interface, at that region where, the part that is just at the water, just touching the water, just above the water, that interface, that is what we call as water plane area usually. So CWL is defined to be a water plane area coefficient is equal to AW, which is the water plane area, which means the area of that water plane at the interface, by L into B. Okay, so you can guess what it is. It is the maximum area that can come also. A into L into B is the maximum horizontal area that can come up. And this, so you get the CWL. This is known as the water plane area. Then there is one more left, that is known as a vertical prismatic coefficient. Vertical prismatic coefficient. Vertical prismatic coefficient. Now this is usually designated as CVP is equal to del divided by AW into T. Just look, you can imagine what it is. Del is the underwater volume. AW is that water plane area at that point into T. Means the volume, assuming the water plane area and that volume and the draft, and the draft T, AW into T, that volume, and it is the numerator is the del, which is the actual underwater volume, divided by this hypothetical volume again. So you get another coefficient which is known as a vertical prismatic coefficient. So of these, I strongly suggest you remember what is a block coefficient. Definitely, for the class, I'm saying you should remember all the coefficients. But for the the catch here is basically these things will come up to you really when you are going to write. You have a comprehensive. In your fourth year, at the end of fourth year, you actually have something known as a comprehensive. We ask you people questions on what you have studied so far, and most of the questions usually come up from hydrostatics and stability, because whenever you ask any question in any of your later courses, for example, seakeeping and manuring, or as I told you, resistance and propulsion, any of those courses, the terms that you use here come up there, and if you get stuck, the question always comes down to hydrostatics and stability finally. So if you don't get these things clearly in your mind, you have serious problems in comprehensive. You might even have a repeat of that. That's going to be very harsh. So like this. So CVP is the vertical prismatic coefficient is equal to this thing. So these are different coefficients of form. Now, as it is, so this is what we have in the first chapter of Adrian Beran. We have just finished the first chapter of Adrian, except a couple of things, which is what I will show you in the next class, the table of offsets and the drawing of the lines plan, which I wanted to show you. And other than that, this is the end of the first chapter. So they end up with all these form. These are known as coefficients of form because they depend upon the form, right? So it's known as a coefficients of form. So once we finish that, we go into the second chapter of Adrian Beran. So I'll tell you, piece by piece, which chapter I am following and all. So this is, we are going now into the second chapter. This is known as
Sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
So what is AM?
Yeah, midship area coefficient. It is the midship area. Sorry, AM is the midship area. Yeah, the question is good. So you have the ship like this. You go to the midship part of the ship, cut the ship like this, and the part of the ship that is below the water, this area, that is known as the midship section area, AM. And AW is when you look from the top, this area. So one is when you look at it like this area, and one is when you look at it, this area. So AW and AM, two areas that you have to be familiar with when you're doing this. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir,
can you explain the prismatic coefficient again?
Prismatic coefficient. Okay. There is it is not a this prismatic coefficient is not something you can visualize like this. It is just the ratio. It is basically, prismatic coefficient is defined as the ratio of CB to CM, which means it is basically the ratio of like this, del to AM into L. You can imagine. Let's let me try to explain. Del should be the underwater volume, actual underwater volume. AM, so you assume that this midship area extends throughout the length of the ship. You assume like that. So if you assume there is a volume like that, that volume is the ratio of the exact volume to that volume is what we call as prismatic coefficient. It's for some calculations it helps, so the main thing which you will be using is CB, block coefficient. That is what I said. Whatever research, whatever you do in naval architecture, you will come across the CB. And remember, the value remains for a container ship. There are different types of ships actually. We call them container ships, the oil tankers. These kind of ships usually have CBs of the order of about 0.8. So these are all basically flat ships. So you will have things of the order of about 0.8. CB is about 0.8. You can remember some of these. Some of the other high speed moving crafts, some of the crafts, they look like this. They are made like this. Basically, it's very less CB. They will have smaller CBs. So just to get an idea of, because CB is the one that you need to get an idea of. The other things are used. Okay, then let's
Sir,
go to the second chapter. It is it is basically the Archimedes principle. So we come to the second part of the lecture. So I'll just mention some couple of things which, since you are the beginning in naval architecture, or I'm not sure, you probably wouldn't be familiar with these kind of terms and terminologies.